Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I figured I would go for a ride, just like a lot of these videos start out as, to visit a lady that I wish I would have known in her living years, but wasn't so fortunate. In recent years, become a little bit of a taphophile, which is somebody that's interested in the history and the people within cemeteries. I do follow Hollywood Graveyard on YouTube, which that is a great channel. If you've never checked it out, there's a lot of interesting information about people's lives that were once here to entertain us that are no longer here. In the past few years, the host of Hollywood Graveyard, Arthur Dark, great name for that type of channel, has opened up viewer specials where you can help him cover different historical figures, cemeteries, and celebrities around the world. He's gotten submissions from people all over the world, and this is 2024 is his third special that he has opened it up to people, and I've joined in once again. On the first special, I submitted Lizzie Borden, who is her properties, house, museum, and family's graves are all in Fall River, Massachusetts. I also submitted H.P. Lovecraft, which he is a renowned author. If you're not aware of him, definitely take a look at his work. But he is buried in Swan Point Cemetery in Providence, Rhode Island. On the second viewers special, I submitted Nicholas Colasanto. You would know as he's a very, very well-known actor, stage and screen, but very well-known mainly by he was coach on Cheers. He passed away, I believe, within the first couple of years of Cheers, and then Woody Harrelson came in to kind of fill his spot, but they didn't take over it. They did include his death in the show so that they didn't denounce him, but Woody Harrelson came in and kind of tried to fill the hole. He is buried at St. Anne's Cemetery in Cranston, Rhode Island. I believe he was born in Rhode Island, so came back here to spend his eternity. And also at St. Anne's in Cranston, Rhode Island, is David Angel, who is a producer for, I believe, Cheers, Frasier, Wings. He has a huge repertoire of things as well. And he's literally buried in pretty much the next section over from Nicholas, which I find very interesting. I wonder how that happened. But him and his wife, unfortunately, were on one of the planes that hit one of the Twin Towers on 9/11. So unfortunately, we lost them. And then also on that second viewer's submission, I sent in Mercy Brown, which she is famous for the New England vampire panic, which I believe that was families and people that were contracting tuberculosis. And then a lot of times back in the 1800s, without a lot of modern medical research and knowledge, there was a lot of superstitions. And once one person gets tuberculosis in your family back then, everybody starts getting stricken with it. And there wasn't really any good medical treatments to save you from that at that point. So it just, one by one, took your family out. And with the superstitions of the day, they were believing that family members were cursed, that had passed, and that they were coming back to take the rest of the family. They were supposedly even visions of when Mercy passed away, that when her brother got sick, it was supposedly stories of him having visions saying that Mercy came back and was sitting on his chest and he couldn't breathe. So they had buried Mercy. They hadn't actually buried her. She was in a cold vault outside until the ground unfroze for them to bury her. But when her brother, I believe her brother's name was Edwin, passed away, before he passed away, they were trying to save him and doing whatever they could. They exhumed Mercy and found that she still had blood in her system, her heart. She had no composition, but then again, she was in a vault, an outdoor vault that was cold over the winter, so she was preserved a lot more than they expected. And she wasn't, let's just say, she wasn't a vampire. But they dug her out, pulled her heart out, burned it, made a tonic with the ashes for her brother to drink. Superstition. For her brother to drink to try and save him. And unfortunately, of course, he passed as well. But look up that story. Mercy Brown, Rhode Island Vampire Panic. But, short story long, today we are in Central Falls, Rhode Island. Central Falls is 1 square mile. It's the smallest city in the smallest state in the United States. And everything that I've looked up for this individual shows that she was buried here with her family, although her name is not specifically etched on the stone. It took me a very long time to find her. With those 3 viewer special submissions, it was a total of 6 times I came up here to try and locate this actress. And on the 6th time, I finally found the right coordinates, the right map, through Rhode Island Historical Society maps that told me the right space. So, right now, if you come into section K of the cemetery, you'll find stone with the name Alker on it. So, Ms. Alker, the actress that we are here to visit, is Alice Drummond. You would know Alice Drummond, probably know most popular by the original Ghostbusters movie. She was the librarian at the beginning who got scared by the ghosts. Once she started doing actual movies, she was a little in her later years. I think she did start to... I can't do this and I can't flip the screen. Yeah, that's better. She became more famous for TV and film roles in her later years. She was on off-Broadway shows and soap operas and TV shows before that. But Ghostbusters was her most famous thing. Other movies that you would know her from is To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. She was the older lady that didn't speak to anybody, but spoke to Wesley Snipes, which she was really cool in that movie. And then also she was in Awakenings with Robert De Niro. She was one of the patients with Robert De Niro. She was very, very good in that as well. Very sad movie, but very interesting. And then one of my favorites for her, she was Ray Finkel's mom in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. So just remember, laces out, everybody. Always laces out. So let's go around. So here we go. Alker, which is her maiden name, her mother's family, because her mother married Reuter. So let's go around the side. This is tough because I can't flip the screen, so let's try and get this here. There we go. Kind of. Oh my goodness, I'm terrible at this. Why won't this... Alright, so Edward Alker, which would be her grandfather, 1859 to 1929. Her grandmother, 1858, Alice A., which she was obviously named after her maternal grandmother. And she passed away in 1934. So 59, 41, 61. So she was like 7. He was like 70. And then her grandmother, 1858 to 1934. So that's 42, 72, 76 years old. And then they had a daughter that they also named Alice May, who It's dated 1892 to 1893, unfortunately, so she was a year or less old that passed away. Further down, this is her mother, Sarah Irene Reuter, which is her married name. She looked like she was 68 years old when she passed away. And then her father, Arthur Reuter, who was 58 when he passed away. So unfortunately, they did not, if she is buried here, which all listings say that she is, her name was not inscribed on the bottom with her family. But her namesakes are both still here. Alice, her grandmother, and her aunt, Alice May, are both here. She does have another sister that is buried, I believe, in Swan Point Cemetery in Providence. But all listings say that Miss Alice Drummond is here in Central Falls. So, with it being so long for me to actually come in and find Miss Drummond, I figured we'd come by and visit her again and say hello. So again, it's kind of a quiet, for a small cemetery, I'd say there's maybe no more than maybe 15 sections, but they are kind of bigger sections. It's quiet. But for a cemetery in Central Falls that's only 1 mile wide, there's quite a few individuals in here. I'm sure there's some interesting stories in here as well. But you would never guess that a Hollywood celebrity is here with her family. So thanks for everything, Ms. Alice Drummond. You were a great entertainer, and we appreciate everything that you've left us. I hope you all have a great day and you've enjoyed this just a little bit, and maybe I'll come back and cover the other graves that I've mentioned that I've submitted to Hollywood Graveyard. And in the meantime, definitely subscribe to Hollywood Graveyard, visit with Arthur Dark, and he is still going through the over 2,000 submissions that were sent in for this third round of viewer specials. So definitely check that out. It's definitely worth it. And you all have a good day. Take care.